I'm Carolyn. Today I'll be teaching you how to train your dog how to sit down. We'll talk about the basics, we'll talk about some common mistakes, and we'll talk about some helpful hints that I have for you. These are my assistants and fellow scientists, Galileo and Newton. The goal is for your dog to sit down every time that you ask, the first time that you ask. Galileo, come here. Sit. Good boy, good boy. What you need. Dog. Check. Disclaimer, you can use a cat if you've mastered the training process. Don't start with a cat. I recommend starting with a golden retriever if available. Steer clear of huskies because they're stubborn. You also need treats. Check. I recommend something small. You can also use pieces of chicken. You also need a controlled environment, so somewhere where there aren't other distractions. And you need love, because you can't train a dog without love. Okay, so first, you want to teach the dog the action before the word. So, step one is to hold your hand, hold the treat in your hand so that your finger, your index finger, and your thumb are holding the treat. You want to face your palm upward, like that, and then just hold the other fingers out, just like that, okay? So that's the first step. There's many ways to hold it, but that's the way that I recommend because it works with everything else. Step two, hold the treat slightly in front of the dog's nose and raise the treat. This will cause the dog to look up and his bottom to go down. Come here, Galileo. Good boy, good boy. Boy. If the dog sits, tell the dog good boy in a happy voice. Make sure and give the treat or reward while they're sitting. If the dog does not sit, immediately say wrong in a stern voice. Not yelling, but not happy.
Newton. Wrong.
Then you would try the procedure again a few times. If you can't get the dog to sit, then you may want to work on watch me. Or when the dog naturally sits on their own, telling the dog, saying sit immediately and then rewarding the dog. Once you have a reliable sit, so every time you ask, the dog sits, you'll want to add the word to the motion. This will make it so that you can do either say the word or do the motion and the dog will sit. No, come here. Come here, buddy. Sit. Good boy, good boy. Galileo, come here. Sit. Good boy, good boy. Okay, so now some common mistakes. Do not push the dog's butt down. I see people everywhere pushing dogs' butt down when they don't sit, and this just acts as a punishment, and the dog won't want to sit for you. Overtraining. When you're working with the dog, you only want to work with them for 15-minute increments. Dogs are like little kids, so they need breaks. Undertraining. You have to work with the dog every day. I recommend at least twice a day, which isn't asking too much, even if you have a full-time job and school. But if you have more time, then work with them as much as you can. Okay, so some helpful hints. Ask your dog to sit anytime that you can throughout the day. So before you pet them, before you feed them, and before you give them a treat. When you go for walks, ask him to sit at every corner. Once you have a reliable sit, then you can start adding distractions, like going outside or going to the dog park and practicing sit. If you're training a very high energy dog, like a husky, you will want to do something active with them to wear them out before training sessions. Like going for a run, going to the dog park. I used to go rollerblading. Galileo would pull me on the rollerblades before we trained. Once you have mastered the sit, I recommend moving on to training your dog to do other tricks like high five, lay down, roll over, stand up. Good boy, good boy, good boy. And then come walk on a leash, heel on a leash, etc. This has been my presentation on how to train your dog how to sit. I'd like to thank my fellow scientists, Galileo and Newton. If you have any questions, you can comment in the feed and I will comment back to you. Thank you. Have a good night.